representing Lagos West Senatorial District, the largest senatorial district in Nigeria. Mr. President.
Senator Olamilekon, you are protected indeed.
Is the largest. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the report of the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2021 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. 1.0 Introduction. The National Assembly approved the total sum of the National Assembly. Section 15 of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act provides that a percentage of determined by the National Assembly of the oil and gas revenue collected by the service may be appropriated by the National Assembly for the capital and recurrent expenditure of the service. Membership, that is 2.0. 2.0 as well, the budget hearing and session. The committee engaged the leadership of the management of FIRS to a budget hearing session on Tuesday, 2nd February 2021. At the session, the executive chairman of FIRS, Mr. Mohammed Nami, made a presentation of the 2021 budget performance and justification for 2020 budget performance and justification for the 2021 budget proposal as it relates to revenue and expenditure of the FIRS. The review of the 2020 budget performance. Mr. President, in the performance of the 2020 fiscal year, which is stated in 3.0 of the report, clearly shows the total collection for the year as against the budgeted and the approved, and the budgeted figure was 5.07 trillion that is allotted to the FIRS, and the actual achieved is 4.950 trillion, and all other revenue estimates are stated in the 2020 budget performance. During the year under review, the services achieved a total revenue collection of 4.95 trillion in 2020 as against the budgeted figure of 5.076 trillion, representing about 98% out of the total collection of 4.950 trillion. The non-oil and the oil component contributed 3.53 trillion and 1.5 trillion respectively. Consequently, the cost of collection of 4% net and of 2% National Customs Service VAT of 130.4.5 billion was achieved against the budgeted figure of 180.76 billion to find the three operational expenditure head for the year. Out of the approved budgeted expenditure of 168.81 billion, the services expended the sum of 123.79 billion across the three expenditure heads. Furthermore, the sum of 83.70 billion and 34.57 billion was expended in personnel and overhead costs as against a sum of 97.36 billion and 43.64 billion respectively. Also, the sum of 5.15 billion was expended on capital items against the budgeted sum of 27.80 billion. The 2021 budget. The primary objective of this budget is to reposition the service towards achieving its optimal assessment and collection of taxes revenue for the government. The budget is prepared on a zero-based budgeting principle. Assumption 1, that is 4.1. The budget is predicated on the following assumption. There will be a marginal reduction in the taxable income of taxpayers due to the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. 2, exception of some categories of taxpayers from payment of tax as enshrined in the 2019-2020 Finance Act will impact on revenue collection. 3, there will be an increase in oil production during the year. The cost of collection of the service will be 4% of the non-oil revenue. An adoption of the medium-term expenditure framework of the federal government, and no recruitment in the year 2021. Strategy for achieving this proposed budget. 1, the service seeks to continuously improve its technology for automated tax collection across all sectors of the economy through e-filing, e-registration, e-payment, etc. to facilitate the ease of doing business with taxpayers. 2, introduction of measures to increase tax audit and enforcement activities nationwide. 3. Intensify taxpayers' education and engagement with a view to improving the compliance with tax laws. 4. Get closer to taxpayers by opening of new offices in selected business districts across the country. 5. Expand the already existing synergy with the State Internal Revenue Service for easy reconciliation. Provision of adequate working tools and conducive working environment for staff. Increase the capacity of staff through structured training and payment of staff entitlement as at when due, including performance incentive and reward for hard work. Mr. President, 4.3, align the proposed 2021 budget as earlier mentioned by me. This year, we are looking at a total collection of about 5.90 trillion naira with the 4% cost of collection maintained. And also we are looking at, if they could achieve this target, their budget proposal of 180.76 billion will be increased to 216.65 billion. The service is proposing a total sum of collection of 7.6061 trillion against the budgeted of 5.076 trillion in 2020, representing about 49.90 increase above the corresponding year's budget. Out of the proposed total collection of 7.61 trillion, non-oil and oil components are expected to contribute 5.645 trillion and 1.9464 trillion. Consequently, the cost of collection of 4% net, the cost of collection of 4% net of 2% custom service VAT is projected as 216.65 billion against the budgeted of 180.76 billion in 2020. To fund the three expenditure head for the year. Out of this proposed expenditure of 216.65 billion across the three expenditure head, the sum of 10.52 billion and 47.22 billion are to be expended on personnel and overhead costs. Overhead costs against 2020 budget of 97.36 billion and 43.64 billion respectively. The proposed increase in personnel and overhead costs are as a result of increase in staff size and the provision of office working tools and other consumables for service-wide office. Also, the sum of 61.9 billion is estimated to be expended on capital items against the budgeted sum of 27.80 billion in 2020. The sum is to cater for the ongoing and new project for effective revenue drive. Observation. The committee observed as follows. 1. The cost of collection to the service at 4.4% of the non-oil revenue. 2. There will be a marginal reduction in the tax income of taxpayer due to effect of COVID-19 pandemic. 3. The service seeks to continuously improve the technology for automated tax collection across sectors of the economy through e-filing, e-registration, e-payment, etc. to facilitate ease of doing business with taxpayer. And 4. No recruitment for the year. 5. The exception of some category of taxpayer from payment of tax as enshrined in the 2019 and 2020 Finance Act will impact on revenue collection. 6. Intensify taxpayer education and engagement with a view to improving the compliance with the tax law. Recommendation. The committee recommends to the Senate that a total expenditure of 216,579,231 be approved for the service to fund the proposed personnel, overhead and capital expenditure costs of the service during the 2021 fiscal year. Conclusion. The committee expressed deep appreciation to the Senate for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. Thank you, Mr. President.
Committee on Finance, chaired by Senator Solomon Adeola, and indeed, FIRS for doing a good job. FIRS is doing very well. This is because Its revenue projection for last year was 5.076 trillion, but it actualized the amount of 4.950 trillion, which is 97.51% of the budgeted revenue. This is really a wonderful achievement. And I'm sure that the committee also did a wonderful job by doing a proper oversight. And that the combination of all these factors made this possible. So I want to commend the committee as well, commend the FIRS, and urge the committee to continue to do proper oversight so that the revenue project for this year will be realized, just like what happened in 2020. I just submit this.
Dr. Francis Alimike, representing Edo North. Mr. President, I have observation that I want the chairman to clear. He said the cost of collection 4% net and 2% Nigeria Customs Service VAT is 130.something billion. In the last presentation of custom budget, they said 2% collection of the VAT from FIRS was 350 billion, which they collected. I see their own is now 130 billion. There must be some, I want the chairman to clear, because the customer said 2% VAT they collected is 350 billion. And FIRS say that they collected a 2% collection of custom is 130 billion.
Okay, Chairman.
Equally observe what the chairman, Senate Committee on Custom have said. Mr. President, the figure is referring to is the 2020 budget. That of this budget performance of the FIRS. And the rule is here. FIRS collect the VAT, custom after they have calculated their own cost of collection of 4%, still go ahead and collect 2% from FIRS revenue to be paid to custom office. And the issue of 130 they have expressed here, that is the figure that FIRS have generated. And it's a previous year figure, not 2021 figure.
Thank you for the recommendation. Observation. We don't have observation, but if you want to comment, you can comment.
Mr. President, my name is, when we were presenting the budget of custom the other time, I stood up to praise the committee. You shut me down. Jubri is Senator Jubri. Isa Jubri is the vice chairman. Isa Jubri. Okay. Sorry.
What happened? And there is only one recommendation. The Senate Committee recommends to the Senate that a total expenditure of 216,646,579,231 naira only be approved for the service to fund the proposed personnel, overhead, and capital expenditure costs of the service during the 2021 fiscal year. Those in favor of this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. Leader of the Senate.